Hi, I'm Glenn Bischoff, editor of Urgent Communications Magazine, and I'm speaking with Ralph Clark, President and CEO of SST, formerly known as ShotSpotter. And Ralph is going to be telling us about a brand new hosted service that the company just recently introduced. Ralph, what's it all about?
Thank you very much, Glenn. We're really delighted to announce our ShotSpotter Flex capability, which takes our tried and true technology of gunshot detection and location technology and repackage and reprice it into a affordable managed services offering.
And what does that mean for the end user customer, Ralph? Does it save them money? Does it give them more capabilities, or is it a combination of both?
It's really a combination of both. First and foremost, it saves them more money. We've repriced it from about $250,000 to $300,000 a square mile on a CPE basis to $40,000 to $60,000 a square mile per year on a subscription basis. It removes a lot of the friction points with respect to taking away the cost and ownership and complexity of installing sensors, standing up servers, and building networks. We've also added a slight enhancement wrinkle, if you will, by having all the alerts go into our National Operations Center, where they get reviewed by acoustic experts that then put context around those gunshot alerts before it's released to the PSAP.
And what kind of context are we talking about?
So oftentimes you'll have a multi-shooter situation, and our acoustic experts can basically glean if in fact we're dealing with one or two shooters, if they're dealing with big guns, small guns, automatic weapons versus revolver weapons, which will change your profile, your response profile, obviously.
Now, in terms of the cost factor, this not only is less costly, but also it sounds like it's a lot less complicated for an agency to get involved with, which kind of opens us up to maybe those tier 3 agencies that before might not have had the capability of getting involved in something like this.
Yeah, I wouldn't just limit it to tier 3. I think we're talking about tier 2 customers as well. I mean, we're certainly recognizing the macroeconomic climate that we're in, and in asking any customer to invest $1 million and also be laying off police officers is a challenging business prospect. So the idea that we could offer this wide area acoustic surveillance capability really for the price of one fully burdened police officer and provide a lot of context around gunshot alerts where less than 20% of the time people call 911 for a gunshot is really an incredible service. So we're going to be relevant not only to tier 3 but tier 2 and frankly some tier 1 customers. We're just at the very, very tip of this marketplace and want to expand much deeper.
Hi, Glenn Bischoff back with Kevin Bern, Sergeant with the Rocky Mount, North Carolina Police Department. And Kevin, I understand that you're one of those tier 3 cities that Ralph Clark was talking to me about earlier today, the ideal kind of municipality for the new hosted service that SST just launched. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing?
Yeah, that's correct. We just started in July 1st. The system went live, so we've been collecting gunshot data as well as fireworks and any other thing that goes pop or boom in the city. We've seen a lot of success with it already. We've made 15 felony arrests, 3 of which were taken federal. So it's making a big impact already on the crime reduction in our community.
So now you had a legacy ShotSpotter system, though, right? That you had invested in at some point. Can you tell us about how the two work together?
We originally invested in the legacy system. With us being the first on the subscription-based model, we were able to triple our coverage size. So we went from 1 square mile that we originally were going to cover for the same amount of money. We're getting a little over 3 square miles. And luckily we are, because that extra 2 miles is getting into areas that if we hadn't had the ShotSpotter, we'd have been upset that we didn't go for the extra money to get that.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit? What were some of the specifics about that?
Well, we originally got a grant from the Department of Justice. It was a technology grant. So we were awarded in 2010 $350,000, which would allow us to get that first square mile with ShotSpotter. But again, since we went with the newer system, we got over 3 square miles for the same amount of money.
So you're getting a lot more bang for the buck.
Yeah, a lot more.
And is it the case where if it had not been a hosted service, you wouldn't have been able to expand the coverage area at all?
No, we're very limited in funds, as most municipalities are these days. So that first initial block grant we got, that was going to be it until we sought other funding. If we weren't able to find other funding, we've just been stuck with the 1 square mile.
Okay, Ralph, the last thing I wanted to ask you about is the name change from ShotSpotter to SST. What's that all about?
Well, it's really signifying this new path that we're on really with ShotSpotter Flex. We thought it was appropriate to rename the company. The old ShotSpotter name, I think, had been associated with a lot of good things, but it was also associated with this idea of a very expensive capital premise equipment-based solution cell that we wanted to get away from. So we're maintaining the good stuff with respect to ShotSpotter and really demarcating a brand new ShotSpotter with SST.